Another really powerful tool that goes hand in hand with the customer plan is what I call back from the future planning. Now, typically when we build a business plan, we always start from where we are and then look at improvements year by year going forward. So we may say, here's a 3 or 5 year outlook based on how we've done in the past. But back from the future planning looks at the business entirely different. It assumes that you can build a great customer experience. And I don't mean just a customer experience that's 2 or 3 times better. I'm talking about a customer experience that may well be 10 times better. And why is that possible? Well, it's possible because there are companies in different industries that are already doing that. Amazon did that with e-commerce. They said, we can build something that no one's ever seen before. And if you pick something that is almost outrageous in terms of expectation, I mean, think of that, 10 times better than what the industry is currently providing. Go back to my example with Delta Airlines terminal. Clearly, the Delta Airlines terminal at LaGuardia now is 10 times better than what they had before, and it's a lot better than what most airlines in the United States had before. So there's a 10 times better experience. But how long did it take to build that? You know, was it a 3-year plan? Was it a 4-year plan to be able to get that? So if you're trying to build that kind of dramatic change in customer experience, start with where you want to end up and then look backward to the present. And I can almost guarantee you what will happen if you go quarter by quarter looking backward and you say, okay, it's 4 years to get to that lights out customer experience. So let's work backward. For 1 quarter backwards, here's what I have to do. Then another quarter backwards, then another quarter of the year backwards, then another quarter of the year backwards, and you work your way back. And almost inevitably, when you complete that little analysis, you will get back to the present and you'll discover you've got a gap, because you'll say, gee, I didn't realize that there's a lot more that I have to get done right now in this year and next year in order to achieve that lights out customer experience that I want to have 4 years from now. So having the perspective of looking back from a point of success destination out in the future to the present resets the framework and the urgency of what are the things that you got to get done very near term in order to be able to achieve that kind of goal. Why is it that when big government projects, take the Boston Big Dig, which originally started out to be a $1 billion project that was going to get done in about 6 years, as I recall. Well, when they finished, it actually took over 15 years, and it cost over $15 billion. Well, they didn't start with the end destination and say, work backwards as to what had to happen. They started with where they were, and then because of a planning process and obviously a lot of special interests and political pressures and many things that go beyond my competence to be able to explain, it ended up costing a lot more money and it took a lot more years. If you want to do a true transformative business, you can't think that way. You've got to think about the destination of what is it that we're trying to achieve. That's what we did with the Mac when Steve Jobs created that. That's really what Apple does with all of its major Great Leap Forward products. It's what Amazon does. It's what Google does. It's what Facebook does. It's what LinkedIn does. I mean, you see it in successful company after successful company. They pick a destination and then they look back. And so back from the future planning in combination with business models and looking at the business model across an end-to-end system and deciding what can you outsource to a partner versus what do you have to invest in and build yourself, and then looking at where in that value chain do you want to make money and where do you may just want to give something away because you want to be able to get customers to join your system. You know, these are tools that are incredibly important if you're going to be an adaptive innovator. And remember, you've got to be looking at this as an adaptive innovator across multiple domains because nothing's static in transformative businesses. In fact, the whole reason there's an opportunity to build transformative companies in an industry is when industries are ripe for change. They may not have started the change yet. They may be in the early stages of change. I see that in healthcare, where we're moving into the consumer era of healthcare products and services, both for wellness and for sick care. And so it takes a while for some of the fundamentals to be put into place, particularly when you're dealing with highly regulated industries with legacies of special interests. But the reality is that all of these businesses, no matter how complex, no matter how regulated, no matter how different geographically, meaning wherever they are in the world, all of these businesses can become transformative when you start with a few of these fundamental tools for the adaptive innovator.